right, Adam, this week we got a really cool opportunity to take a closer look at Star Wars Squadrons, and we're jumping right into the story mode, and I guess the big question here is Empire or Rebellion?
But the heroic pilots of the Rebel Alliance have chosen to keep fighting, to show the Empire that we are not afraid. It was their bravery that ended Palpatine's reign and brought about our new republic. However, the Empire lives on, shattered though it may be. As I speak, Imperial forces are edging toward the Bormia sector.
Like I said in the intro, Adam, we're checking out Star Wars Squadrons, and specifically the story mode here. And what I thought was kind of unique first jumping into this is that we get to play both sides. We get to play as the Empire, and we also get to play as the New Republic, or the former Rebellion. And that is kind of where we kind of get the cool aspect of this game, is kind of we're playing the dueling sides here, but we're playing this throughout a 14 mission story mode. What did you think getting into this one?
Yeah, that's definitely a good way how they built around this game, how you flip-flop between both. Because basically how the story works is you're Lyndon James, and Lyndon James is the rebellion captain, and you go in on your first mission with your squad, and he ends up betraying his squad and being part of the Rebel Alliance, and then it leaves Teresa Carril, his kind of second in command, really bitter, and then basically it's back and forth between them for the whole story, the good, the bad, and them battling it out in space.
Yeah, you know what, they did a really good job here. This is your prototypical Star Wars story, and it's told really well. There's a lot of characters here because we are playing on the New Republic side. We are playing the Vanguard Squadron. We're Vanguard 5. That's the character we play as, and we have crewmates, Gunny. There's a lot of kind of funny characters I find on the Rebellion side, but then when you kind of jump over to the Empire side, we're Titan Squadron. It's a little more hardcore, but the characters again have their kind of own little things about them, their nuances about them, like Shen. He's kind of this battle-hardened veteran that never takes his helmet off because he's been in so many crashes that half his body's cybernetic.
Call me Shen. Before you ask, helmet stays on, cockpit or not. Too many hard landings. Broken neck. 5, 6 times. Cybernetics keep me going. Fight. Fall. Get up. Fight again. All for the Empire.
If you're willing to kind of play through and kind of listen to the voiceovers and interact with all the characters, you get a little bit of a deeper story here, and I think fans of Star Wars are really going to enjoy that because you don't necessarily have to do any of that to play this story mode. You kind of blast right through, and I did find it was fairly quick. You can probably play this in about 8 to 10 hours, but again, this game isn't totally focused on just the story mode. It is pretty heavily based on the multiplayer side of things, but we are going to focus on the story mode here, and it's kind of like a giant tutorial, and we play as a bunch of different ships here on both sides as we go through. And like, I don't know about you, I thought it was really interesting because there's these 14 missions and we flip-flop so much. It feels like almost every mission we get to play as a different ship.
Yeah, exactly. And then eventually, after you've started to be introduced to all these different ships, there are some missions where you can choose which ship you want to use. And, you can switch out your lasers or, your defenses on the ship. A lot of customization that you can do with each one, too, which is pretty cool. But the missions, they're not really all the same, which was nice to see. There's about 14 or 15 missions. And, you might be protecting your engineers or trying to steal a Star Cruiser. And then, you flip-flop between the dark side and the good side to kind of fight it out in space.
Yeah, no, that's the big thing. That's what drew me in here. That's what I really enjoyed about the story, is without giving away too much about what happens as you play through. Yeah. There is so much flipping and flopping back and forth and seeing both sides of the story. You may be playing in a mission, as the Empire, and you're doing something, you're completing a bunch of objectives that, in the next mission you're flipping to the other side and you're actually, kiboshing those same things, right? So it's cool to kind of play it from both perspectives like that. But, jumping into this game, it's definitely not perfect. There are some issues here. The game looks great graphically, but I actually, on my first playthrough, I started the game up and I had this kind of blank screen going on for a while, and it just played all the audio. I could hear everything, and then I heard voiceover starting, and I was like, okay, like, this isn't just some sort of fade-in black screen that I was supposed to have. Like, something's going on here. I actually had to restart the game and then start my playthrough again, and it was then working the way it was supposed to. But I know you had some issues actually during some of the missions as well.
Yeah, especially mission 4. That thing's gonna haunt me. I had to restart it at the checkpoint like 4 or 5 times because it would prompt you like, "Hey, follow Frisk," and then you get behind Frisk, or you're nudging him with your X-wing or whatever you're driving, and he's just not moving. So you either have to go and kind of get to the cutscene yourself and try to find the right direction, or go back to a checkpoint and see if it works that time. Another time when you had to try to drift, I'm following Kyo around, and she's supposed to teach you how to drift, and I'm just watching her, do it over and over again, and it never teaches you or prompts you. And I thought, any second now it'll show me, and it never did, and I had to restart the whole mission, and then sure enough, it worked after that. So Mission 4 took me a long time to complete.
Yeah, you know what? There was these kind of glitchy things throughout the game, and I mean, it takes away from the overall experience, but I don't think by any means, obviously, you powered through and you managed to get through Mission 4 and those things and keep on playing. But again, that's not something you necessarily want to run into, especially in something that's so short. I mean, it's 10 hours isn't long for a campaign, so you kind of want it to be a little bit polished, and I was a little disappointed to see that we ran into some of those issues. And again, I don't know. I think maybe my expectations were a little higher for this game when I saw the trailers and all that. But when I get into this one, you get to customize your character for both sides, and there isn't a whole lot to choose from, but you get to, kind of make it your own, at least to start with. And what I didn't realize is that there's no movement when you're outside of the aircrafts, right? You're flying around, that's great, but when you're in the hangar or the briefing room, it's literally like point, look, click, all right, now I'm going there, and you don't even get to see your person walk. It's all first person perspective, and it's very VR centric, I'll say. And Drew definitely, I think, will agree with us here in the sense that he got to jump in with the VR, and he also said, he's like, this is definitely how you would play it in VR, but when you play with a controller in your hand, it's significantly different. And I don't know, as a Star Wars game, I guess I just wanted a little more out of that, but I can't take away from the gameplay and, the dogfight mechanics and flying all the ships and everything. It's just so much fun in that respect. So you're willing to look past that. I was a little disappointed because maybe like I said, I think my expectations were a little too high. But overall, I think we had a pretty good time here with the story mode. I think, we don't want to give away too much, but I was pretty excited about how this one ended up. I like how it played out, and they did a good job kind of ending the story off. But it was so nostalgic to jump into a Star Wars game and play through the way you did. You get to see a lot of characters from some of the previous original movies, the movie trilogies, and it was a lot of fun. So, I mean, what were your kind of closing thoughts on this, Adam?
Yeah, the gameplay was definitely awesome. It looks really, really good. The planes handle really, really well. The sound is awesome. It's a good variety of good variety of missions and that. What do you think you're going to score it?
Oh, you know what? Like I said, I was a little disappointed with some of the out of mission things, but I can't let that take away from how well this story was told. As short as it was still well told, and I did do a lot of talking to all my crewmates, and I kind of listen to all the dialogues, and it really gets you a little more kind of immersed into this story. So when you play through the actual missions, it feels like you're actually fighting for something, or there is an objective you really, really need to get. So overall, I think I got to give this one a 7.5. I think I had enough fun that I think anybody can jump into this and have a good time. It's just there were certain things, like we had some problems that stuck out a little bit, so that there was a few points off. What are you gonna give it?
I think I'm gonna go with an 8 on this one, for a lot of the same reasons. You don't have to talk to your squad. Like, it's not like you get any of these side quests or unlock all these challenges and stuff, right? Which kind of, it's pretty linear game. Just kind of complete each mission in a row. But yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. 'Cause it's definitely fun. It's a different game I haven't played in a while, so.
Squadron Story Mode tells a classic Star Wars tale full of new and old characters alike. It was nice to play as both sides in this one, but there was definitely some gameplay bugs and graphical glitches that made this one hindering at times.
Star Wars Squadrons was a good single-player game with a little bit of multiplayer tossed in as well. Dogfighting and the fleet battles are decent, but after a while, it kind of becomes a little tedious. The environments themselves are really good, but the single-player campaign is really what pushed me forward to play the game. Overall, Star Wars Squadrons for me is getting a 7.
This never gets old, hey Grace?
Never.